Are you looking to promote your business? Perhaps a video for your website? Or maybe just a story to tell? If so, then you are a name to know. I am your host, Alicia Figueras, and A Name to Know provides a stimulating 10-minute interview for your business. For more information, give us a look at anametoKnow.com. Why? Because you are a name to know. Welcome to A Name to Know. I'm your host, Alicia Figueras-Lambert, and do I have a name to know? Mr. Clifford Mason. Clifford, welcome to the show.
Well, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I was so inspired by your journey that you were sharing with me. You went to college to become an accountant. You worked as an accountant, and then what happened?
Hello out there. Well, actually, my journey started a lot earlier than that, and that is I can go back as far as public school. I remember Mr. Madison, PS 71. He gave us all Brownie cameras, and we walked around the school and we took pictures. And I still have that very first picture that I ever took.
Wow.
Fast forward to high school. I went to high school, Norman Thomas for education. I always say Norman Thomas for a lot of pretty young ladies. And so I took a lot of pictures and I started making money. You know, the ladies were interested in the pictures, and I started making money. And then I went to Baruch College, and they had a photography class there. Took that and then became the president of the photography club.
So it's been in your blood since you were a child.
Yeah, you know, a lot has to do with me mimicking my sister. She had this Minolta camera that initially I was not allowed to touch. So I used to sneak using it. And then, at one point she just said, you can't use it anymore. So my mom got my very own. It was a Konica. It wasn't quite a Minolta, but it was a Konica.
So this
and
was
sometimes the flash didn't always work. So, it was quite often embarrassing because I would take the picture and it would be dark. It was dark because the flash didn't flash all the time. So
this was a hobby, a love.
This was a hobby. And what I got out of it was being able to, number one, like I said, I started making money. And number two, I just saw the beauty in a lot of things, and I wanted to capture everything. And I can hold on to that beauty,
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
So how did you springboard from being a photographer to having a love to do filming?
Well, let's see. I can pinpoint what solidified it. And that was when we went to Universal Studio in Orlando, Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Alfred Hitchcock they had a replica of one of his scenes, like a 3D, not a 3D, it was actually a small to scale rendering, a model,
Mm-hmm.
With the lighting and this, that, and the other. And also it showed how, some of the scenes, like Cycle was done.
I remember that attraction.
Yeah. That, as well as, and just, as a kid going to a museum, seeing how the lighting hit the pieces of work, and then how the pieces of work, the paintings were actually done. The lighting was placed in such a way that it captures your eye to make you focus in on certain things. And
so that fascinated you.
It sure did. And now getting into film, I always knew that capturing an image was what I wanted to do, but it seemed like it was, to the guys that were doing video, it seemed like it was easier for them to capture a full story, because it's motion,
Right.
there's more to it than just that still image. And so and then the digital age of, from, the film cameras, the history was, it was from 35 millimeter to medium format. And then I latched on to the Canon 5D which Canon had no idea what they were doing when they didn't have any idea how large it would be, when they came out with that camera, the Canon 5D Mark II.
Okay.
It was basically a still camera with video capabilities. And, feature films were being made with this camera.
Really?
And yeah. And so I bought one, and then I started, and then I bought a second one, and then I bought a third one. So, just the transition from still images to film wasn't too hard for me, because I guess it's because I'm trained for lighting. It's the creativity in film and photography. The number one thing is about lighting. So I already had a background in but creatively working with light, and so the transition wasn't too hard. But once I get involved with something that I'm passionate about, watch out.
Clifford, I have a question for you. In dealing with filming and photography, you have to have a certain temperament in dealing with individuals, your model, your talent. Let's take a bridezilla, for example. That's a lot to take on. How do you handle that?
Well, I'm just, back in the day, you used to call me Casual Cliff. I'm just a casual guy, but like, I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not a psychologist, I'm, like Annie Leibovitz says, that's not my job to make you smile. You come to the studio and we're going to capture your essence. And if you don't feel like smiling, there's something else that is there that can bring out, So, but with regards to weddings, I like to include an engagement session, because it's like me coming and photograph your wedding. You barely know who I am. Right. So I'm going to ask you to smile and do this and do that. That is not your personality, but if you have an engagement session, you get that out of the way. You'll learn,
That's smart.
And, yeah, absolutely.
I've never heard of that. That's really smart.
Yeah. And also you can add a little upcharge to the wedding.
Very good businessman.
Yeah.
What would you share with someone who's aspiring to get into filming or photography?
First thing is stay out of debt. Stay out of debt. It's very tempting, because photography as a hobby is very expensive. And
then the equipment keeps getting better and better. New models come out, and you want to be on top of the game.
Right. However, the best advice with regards to getting equipment is spend more money on your lenses, because you can use those lenses for still photography. You can use them for film in the film industry. Although there's cine lenses that are dedicated for film, but you can still use them. Because like you said, the equipment, the cameras, technology has come such a long way and so fast, So the camera bodies advance all, like every 2 or 3 years, but you can still use those lenses. So you can build up an arsenal of lenses.
That's good to know.
Yeah. How's my lips? They all dry?
No. Have you been on this side of the camera before?
I typically am not in front of the camera.
Well, welcome to my world.
Well, and it's a very good idea. I've been told that, you really should be in front of the camera as a photographer, so that you can put yourself in a position of where you're subjecting other people to.
Right.
So, not everybody, can do this. And
that is so true.
But I'm passionate about sharing my my journey, and hopefully this will inspire somebody to follow their dream.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. Let me just tell you, becoming a professional photographer, you really should ask yourself why, and we can work with you on the how, because there's certain things that you need in life and that should be covered. Don't bullshit yourself and thinking that you can get yourself a $3,000 camera, you become an instant professional photographer. Because you have it, everybody's going to flock to you and pay you what you deserve, what you are worth. I'm fortunate enough that I have a wife who has me on her health insurance plan. I'm fortunate enough that I have support that I can use this studio to do what I want with it.
Right.
So
You're very fortunate.
Yeah, I am blessed, and just don't fool yourself into thinking that you can just quit your job and just do this without covering your bases. I always tell people, especially married people, take care of home first. And once you take care of that, then you're free to do whatever the hell you want to do. And that's an agreement. That's once that's the agreement that you take care of home first, then you can be free to do what you want to do. Yeah, for the most part, my wife is very supportive, and she's happy that I'm able to do what I want to do, so that I'm able to. You got to be able to do what you have to do in order to do what you want to do. And so long as I'm taking care of that, and she's good. She's good.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. A lot of the success I have is contributed to the folks at my church. There's a couple of I want to mention. One is Lawrence Hestick. He taught me how to work Adobe Photoshop, which is big. And the person who introduced me to working as a subcontractor with state agencies is a friend of the Eubanks. The sad thing about that is that when the person that their friend, I think his name is John, he spoke to me about it, and he gave me the advice, and I started working at it, and I think maybe 6 months or maybe even a year later, found out that he passed away. I went up to the Eubanks. I went up to the Eubanks all excited. Said, I want to speak to John. I want to take him out and just tell him that, it's working. I appreciate his advice, and tell me he passed away. Wow. So I it wasn't so much that I waited so long to reach out to him, to recognize him, but it was that amount of time it took for the paperwork, the accreditation, whatever it took for them to approve me as a minority business enterprise, went into effect.
That's good that you have that listing, because it opens up so many doors for you.
Yeah,
in
absolutely.
Nassau County.
Absolutely. I started doing that since 2008.
Wow.
And yes, and still doing it.
That's
still
a really big push now with minority-owned businesses. They're trying to get everyone to be registered.
Right. And there's a lot of opportunities there. Yeah. Yeah. So now with regards to me saying I can do film, I had an opportunity. I started to tell you, this was it's such a small world. I was at my church one day, and we have an auditorium. It's called the McGill Hall. And there was a gentleman there, and he was setting up on our stage, set design like this. Mm-hmm. And I said, Father Wilson. He's like, hey, Cliff, how you doing? And I don't think he really remembered who I was, because it was my daughter went to school at his parish. And so I told him what I did. And he said, I welcome you to come on over and just film us. And, I gave him a proposal, and we got the clicking, and it turned out that I've done a couple of things with him, but one of the biggest things is I was able to film a 13-episode sitcom.
Oh, neat!
I was like, me, you say you want me to do that? I could do that. Man, I went on YouTube. I went on, just asking people, well, how do you do this, do that, and another. And, I put together a camera package. I can't show you right now, but it was with the Canon 5D Mark II.
Nice.
And I said, look, if Shane Herbert can do it, and those other people put it on a big screen, I can do it for television.
That is so cool.
Yeah, it was fantastic. It was just myself, and it was my first experience as I would call it a film Not a video. There's a distinction between film and video. Don't ask me what it is.
Filmmaker?
Yeah, a filmmaker. Yeah. So, excuse me. He he wrote it, he directed it, and I filmed it, and I used a separate audio system for recording the audio, and I did the editing, and he packaged it, and it was shown in the Caribbean channels.
Nice.
And for a long time, it was on cable TV. Yeah.
Do you get residuals?
No. It was just a set price that I
Okay.
agreed to. It was his first time, so a lot of things were learned from that process, and we were still in the talks doing the next series.
What great experience.
Absolutely. So now I got some bigger and better toys to work on the next next series. And and also I remember going to it was like if we were hired to photograph inside this community center, and the person who invited me there introduced me to you. And I said, I was telling you what I was doing, and it's like, because at the time, it's like, I just want to do interviews, and I just needed my Oprah Winfrey. And then I was introduced to you. And then, you have such a personality, and it's like, yeah, you like the next Oprah Winfrey, and so you gave me the opportunity to do some filming of interviews in different forms, different locations, different venues. And, we had a little short run at the Brentwood Country Club, the Studio 94. There was another place in the atrium of one of those, where I met Sean.
Oh, Jewel.
It was Jewel in the lobby downstairs?
Yeah, downstairs, Jewel.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Good old days.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's good to show that you're very diverse, because not everyone's looking for green screen. Not everyone's looking for a set as you have here. We live in a very diverse world. So
absolutely.
To have versatility is beautiful.
Yeah, that is true.
So put it
That's
out
true.
there.
Yeah.
Because a closed mouth doesn't get fed.
That's right. Absolutely. And I'm the type that's very impressionable. I remember my college days, in finance class, learning about stocks and bonds and this, that, and the other. I decided I want to create my own stocks for my company, Mason Photos at the time.
Good for you.
And then, in real estate classes, I decided, I'm going to buy some real estate. I bought some properties and fixed it up and sold it, and fixed it up and rented with my partners. And I remember one of the jobs, one of the investments. I even wrote up my own contract, real estate contract. And the attorney, he was so nice. He instead of just saying, Cliff, we're not going to use that, because for one reason or another, he was a nice guy. He told me that he already had the contracts already drawn, and so we're going to use theirs. So yes, I'm very impressionable. So if there's something that I see that I'm passionate about, I'll take it on. But I feel like I'm missing that drive, because if I still had it, I'd be in a warehouse. I would be in in my own studio place. This is my garage that I converted with these, and so
Great
I'm
job.
pretty. Thank you.
Beautiful.
I'm proud of it, and it's practical. It's a stone's throw away from my home, and so like I said, I feel like I did lose my drive to be bigger.
Would you say you lost your drive, or you just had limited resources?
That's a good question, because the reason why I would say I stopped being, so gung-ho and just going for it is because I took command of my finances. And because back then, I had like 6, 7, 8 credit cards, and I was managing it mostly. And now I stay away from credit. But it looks like my future with regards to my big dream, the multi-use space, is predicated on me having big bucks.
Right.
And so I'm not going back into that credit hole, but if you're out there and you have some studio space or warehouse that you're not using, I'd be interested in leasing it with the option to purchase, something like that. Yeah.
That would be nice.
That would be awesome.
Any closing remarks?
Yes. I always say, no, actually, Monty Zucker. Oh, man, he was back in the 80s photographer. I learned a lot from him. Shoot for the moon. Even if you miss, you'll still be amongst the stars.
That's right.
Yes.
So shoot for the moon.
Yes.
Well, I enjoyed speaking with you, learning more about your journey. And it got me excited. I remember that Brownie camera because I had one.
Mm-hmm.
And I love photography. I love looking at it. I don't have the patience to do it myself. I like, enjoying the end result. And I love videography. I like being in videos. And I love doing what I do here because oftentimes people who sit in that chair, they don't know what's going to be asked of them. And so, one, it gives me an opportunity to see how people are how quick they are on their feet. And it's a beautiful thing. I love it. It strengthens someone's character on the dime.
Right. And I'm not the talkative type. Those of you out there who knows me, I am not the talkative type. You can tell by the professions that I had chosen. As an accountant, just reporting money.
I don't agree with
finance,
you. I don't agree with that.
But actually, I guess when I, you know what, it's God is he's funny like that. I'm telling you because at the church they asked me to do a play, me stand up in front of people, remembering lines and act. So I am an actor now. I am an actor. They said I did a pretty good job.
Wow, that's cool.
And so I said, I'm older now. I can take on things that outside of the box and just go for it. What short of me losing control of my bodily functions, what the hell is going to go wrong?
Right.
So I'm good. I tried it and I did well. So I'm not scared. So like right now, I feel like I'm having fun doing this, but I'll stick to working behind the camera.
You could actually be doing this by yourself.
Doing what?
What you're doing right now. You really don't need me or anyone else in here. Just set up your camera, hit record, and run over here and do your thing and just talk. Do your podcasts or your little vignettes.
Yeah, but that's what a lot of people do. See, like right now, that camera's supposed to be going sliding back and forth in that Edelkrone slider. You guys know what Edelkrone is, right? Yeah, some of you guys do. Anyway, I got a whole bunch of cool stuff, but they can't put it all into today's show.
Why isn't it moving? You didn't turn it on?
I didn't turn it on. I just didn't turn it on.
That's okay. You don't need to move.
Yeah. No, that's added production value.
But if it's moving, it's catching this space here where no one is sitting.
No, it goes from here and it gives like a little dramatic, little, slide.
Oh,
yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Next time.
Well, when you watch television, you see interviews, you notice, one of the cameras is sliding, ever so slightly.
They have an Edelkrone?
Well, not necessarily Edelkrone. There's so many out there. When I'm watching these YouTube channels, there's not too many of us. There's very few, and on these the big productions. You don't see too many behind the scenes with us in it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm just going back years of looking at footage, and you just don't see enough of us out there. And you know, your hat off to Tyler Perry because of what he's doing, and you know, others are doing it too. It's just that you don't see them,
Right.
you know. And I want to see more of you guys, and perhaps invite me to your set so I can get that. I can rub elbows, and perhaps I can, you know, be of service to you. And yeah, that's what this is all about.
I want to commend you personally for putting yourself out there, availing yourself for those who are striving to be what you are today. Because as you,
I'm a little guy.
no, because as you look at those people on YouTube or elsewhere that are your mentors, you will be a mentor to someone else.
I sure hope to God that I am. You know, people, when I put stuff online, people, you know, they give you the likes and stuff like that. That's cool. I like that. It's cool. But tell me how I can help you, you know? So, is there anything else I want you guys out there to know? Yeah, there's a guy, I did a job, and it was ex-professional football players. And one of the guys, he used to play for the Jets and Giants, I'm probably lying right now. But what he said was, it's nothing special about me, but I just decided to do something special. And that's what people know me for. You know, it's really nothing special about me, but I just decided to do something special.
And what was
So
that
you can
special thing?
Just what I'm doing here. This is special. You know, this is
No, the football player.
no, became a professional football player.
Oh, that was
Something special.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah, he was good. He worked hard, and he worked hard, but he was one of the smaller guys. He had to work extra hard. And so he knew that he didn't have the size, so he just said, "Look, I'm going to be faster," and he did it.
How can someone get in touch with you?
Just yell out your window real loud, "Hey, Cliff!"
And you should be heard.
You can reach me by you can reach me at 516-850-2035. Or you can send me an email at cliffordmason@macefx.net.
And your website?
My website is macefx.net. Tell me how I can help you. As I certainly put myself out there, and that I could use your help to bring me to the next level.
You know what I could say about your work, Clifford? That you are passionate about your work. You take it very seriously.
That's right.
And you're very attentive to detail.
Yes. I try to be, because, like I said, I'm not the best editor, and so I want to get that stuff right in camera. So before it even gets to the computer, you know, get it right in camera first. And that's the age-old saying in photography and the film industry: get it right in camera. Yeah, as best as you can, because there's always going to be some stuff that you won't see. And you know, for the most part, in my whole career, I've never worked with a stylist.
No?
I've never worked with a stylist, and I think that that's one of the things that would elevate my work. So if you're out there, we can grow together.
Yes.
See,
There's strength in numbers.
first you have to work on me, because see my hair. Look, what you see is what you get.
And you
But I
ain't
could
seen
use a
nothing
touch
yet.
up. I could use a touch up, you know, once in a while. But I ain't waiting to film. I'm not gonna wait to get a haircut to film this for you guys.
Nice.
Because what you see is what you get.
Well, it's been quite a learning experience, I must say. I saw another side of you I've never seen before,
Okay.
which I enjoyed. And I wish you the best in your journey as you continue on to mentor others, growing up to be what you are today and what you want to be tomorrow.
I want to thank you for being there and being a part of my journey, because, like I said, we've done quite a few jobs together, and I've gotten experience, and with experience, you get
Practice makes perfect.
You get great, and I want to be great.
You are great. Well, this has definitely been a name to know, Mr. Clifford Mason. Until next time, I've been your host, Alicia Figueras-Lambert, on A Name to Know.
Cut.